Hey guys, it's Adrian. We have had a really good day today in the war room. First hour trading pit that was a little slower than usual. Didn't have a lot of gaps that came together, made sense, but that's all right. All right, the day is about the day. Today's a great day for a great day. So it is. We're into the session here, and we've been looking at the indices, been looking at those Magnificent Seven stocks. Had some really good stuff going on over the course of the morning. Talked about it in the war room. If you're not in our trading room, if you're not there, you should be joining us each and every day. We're going to open that up to non-boot camp alumni as well. We're going to do a little experiment here. It's been just boot camp alum in there, but for years and years and years, so for the last 20 years, it's only been people who've been to the boot camp, who've been in our trading room. But we're going to open it up to folks from the outside to come in and join us. So have a look, and I'm sure you're going to like what you see. So this morning, I called a bunch of trades. We've got those posted in the room. So if you weren't in there, or if you're telling me you didn't have your audio on or whatever, I posted a transcript of everything that I said, which is cool and new, into the chat there so that you guys can see exactly what's on deck and what we're looking at without having to come back and ask me, hey, what did you say about NVIDIA? What did you say about Apple and all that stuff? So it's really great. I think everybody's going to like it. It's going to be really, really good. So let's take a look at the charts, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So here you have it. These are your triple Qs. So as you're looking at what the markets did this morning, it was a pretty solid open. I mean, we had a pop to the upside, a little bit of a gap, came back down. It was oscillating around that central pivot. That's good stuff, right? So as long as it stays in those bands that we've drawn previously. So we had this 432 band here was really a test, and that was from yesterday. And when price got down in there and we saw that it caught that inflection and started moving higher, then that told us that we were going to get some nice opportunity for some trading in the box. So once it got up into here, I talked to you guys in the room, and we started putting together a strategy, and that strategy was focused on, let's talk about the Qs and the NQ right now, and then we'll move on to everything else. We were looking for inflection tests that started right about here, noon Eastern time, right, was where we were looking for inflections at or around that pivot line, that blue pivot, that's R1. Those R1 inflections, those tell us that we have a very high probability that we're going to get back up into the top of this range. And that's in fact what happened. So on QQQ in the room, I told you 444.39 was the targeted entry price with a 445.64 target. Thing went on, right? It kept moving, boom, way up and out of the box. That's all right, that's great, but we're not about maximum favorable excursion. We're about highest probability trade. And highest probability trade was definitely going to be that we stayed in the box and kept trading up to that line, up to that arrow there. So that was all great. And we also focused then, so that we took, and of course we look at that on the NQ, not on the QQQ, conserve some capital, trade the NQ instead of the QQQ, but same deal, right? They're directly correlated. Then we had trade setups that we talked about in Apple and, all the Magnificent Seven today. And, what we were focused on here, let's talk Apple first, again, was this area from 212.55 up to 213.51. And you can see there that once we had the test and the retest of that line, the first test was, let's see here, it was right here. Came back down, touched the line, came up, hit our target, came back down, touched the line, came back up, hit our target. And that's based on a bunch of stuff that's based on those volatility bands that we've identified, 212.55. It's also based on, all this stuff over here, your volume by price, cluster analysis. And, as we go through, what you're going to see is if we stuck to our guns and did every single trade that we called in the room today, then there was no trade on Amazon. Amazon never came back down and touched the line. So if that was just, a trade that we had out there waiting, wasn't going to do it. Google, this guy we just didn't have anything for. So, Google, as far as I was concerned, was a no-go for the day. Didn't line up, didn't give us good levels at our thresholds, didn't give us good volume clusters and all that stuff. But look at Meta. So Meta, we talked about this live, and we were looking for all of these guys right here, all those inflections at 501.74, with the target up shy of the pivot line, and shy of the pivot line because of these guys right in there. So we're looking at target, right up at those highs there, about 503.40 maybe, right around in that range there. That gave us a good target for the trade. And you can see this guy stayed in the box and did that, a first time, a second time, third time on the test. I said in the room, let's let it go and see if we can't get a move down into here. That's because, first mouse, second mouse get the cheese, third mouse gets his neck broke usually. So on that 501.74 third test, we let it go. It came down to the next inflection we were looking at, 499.98, popped higher, and all the way up into the target. So ditto on Microsoft. Microsoft was great. Julie was working on this one even until just a few minutes ago. So when we had these tests around the central pivot line and the breakdown through the threshold level there and then back up into this level from below, those made for nice trades. The fact that it didn't touch this line doesn't matter. When it didn't touch that line, then what we're looking for is the move back up through the pivot. NVIDIA was, this one has been a little bit uncooperative today. Didn't come down and touch the lines that we were looking for. That's okay, right? We don't always have to get an entry on every single stock. What we're focused on is the ones like Netflix that do exactly what we expected them to do. Came down to the threshold level that we identified in the room. You guys were there. You guys were part of putting this thing together. I know Eric L., you were looking at those and they made sense to you. I'm glad that new format is going to be better than even better than it was before. That's great. But if you took Netflix in the box here, we were looking at the move up into 628.58, but really the shallower move was also a decent sized move. So that was about you could peel about $2 out of the move just up into these highs. And if you did that twice, that's great. If you waited for the whole move up into 628.58, that's great too. QQQ we already talked about, did exactly what we expected. And then, boy, howdy, look at what happened here. We were waiting for a 526.59 touch to get us into the spider. And that was based on this earlier inflection move, right? Let's take a look at it right there. So that earlier inflection caught a volume by price histogram. It caught our cluster analysis, and it said that's a high probability turning point. And once, twice, right, in at the entry 526.59 up to 528.33. That was a beauty. So that was on the ES again. You can also trade them directly on the SPY if that's your gig. If you want to trade the spiders, the diamonds, the Qs, that's effectively going to give you the same, the same outcome as trading the NQ or the ES. Just remember, you're going to have to put a lot more money into the trade to get it to happen. So again, if you're not already in the trading room, join us in the trading room. This is, we're going to do a little experiment, and we're going to see, can we bring people in who have not, not worked with us before and not have it turn into mayhem or chaos. If it does, then it'll be bye-bye. But, in the interim, I think it's been some really good trading. Yesterday was great as well. Frustrating for a lot of the guys, right? Because some of the people want to focus on just the opening gaps, or, will get wrapped up in one or two trades around the open, and then, it just feels like, you can't make heads or tails out of what's going on. And then later in the day, when it all comes together, either they've walked away from their machine, or you get a little bit of courage of your convictions kind of a thing going on. But it's all easy stuff to overcome. And if you just focus on what's going on in the markets, focus on whether or not they are, in the box, that's going to keep you on the right side of the risk profile and get you on your road to some profits. All right, so I will see everybody back here tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day, and good trading.